So there's Dave, the insurance guy, in front of me. We're going to run over to his office and take a little look-see, friends. He is a YouTuber as well. And see, he is a Kentucky Colonel as well. So here we are, friends.
Please proceed to the highlighted.
I'm an independent agent now.
You seem independent. So there's no sign here at all,
No,
you're saying?
used to be an Allstate sign.
Really?
Yeah.
So, good hands?
Good hands people.
Yeah, what was that you know what Rodney Dangerfield said, the Allstate agent never sell me insurance. You've never heard that?
No, I've heard a lot of his. You know, I asked him one time if he can take me to some place where there's some action.
Yeah.
And he said, sure, jump right in.
Yeah.
And he took me to my house.
Yeah.
Come on in. Come right on in. Look who I ran into.
No, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Spa Guy.
Hello.
Can you believe that I go to the drone place and he pulls up? I'm in my car and I hear somebody go, hey, Spa Guy. I mean, the only person I know in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
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 Hey,
You
bud.
know, I should have let Leanne read the instructions and tell me all about them.
Well, what are you going to do? So there's the Allstate sign.
Yep. So now we're a fully independent company, much more competitive than we have been.
Yeah.
We're not handcuffed to just one company,
Yeah.
so we have more
So you can
flexibility.
shop it all.
Shop it all, and we're doing very well doing it that way too.
Okay,
His lengthy probably doesn't
Spa
mention.
Guy.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is what I said to him a few hours after he was over a little bit of his sadness. I said, do you
I was
remember
grieving.
what the Spa Guy said about bring it down and hover and grab for it so it
Yeah.
doesn't crash?
That's right.
I was watching him in the kitchen window. It goes, woo, you know, and then he goes, whoo, and I was like, oh no, and then bam, I heard it crash.
What kind of agony sounds was it making?
You're going, oh no.
Well, the first time that I flew, it was snowing, and I could not wait to fly. So I walked outside on my back deck, and I didn't know anything about hooking it to GPS or anything. I send it in the air. It goes over the house. I can't see it anymore, and I don't know what happened to it. And I'm like, oh my God, what in the world has happened? Luckily, it's snowing, so it landed in the snow. It didn't hurt it.
My goodness.
But I wanted to fly so bad.
Was it snowing at the time?
Yeah.
So you flew in the snow?
Oh no, it was just on the ground, but it was probably a foot deep. It was thick.
Hey, I have customers at the moment. Can I?
You can look in my office real quick. if
Yes,
you
sir.
want.
Can I try to help you?
Yeah, we're still moving things around.
I see.
The boxes and stuff. Oh, here, brother. This is what I call my wall of pain. Wall of pain. We have Cal Smith Country Bumpkin.
Okay.
All right. These are,
I see Ray Price.
yeah, folks that come to one nice thing about living in Las Vegas is the entertainers coming through town. And if it's somebody I like, I try to go and then try to meet him afterwards. So this is Cal Smith. This is Ray Price. Mel Tillis. And George Jones. Happy birthday, Dave.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And by the way, this fella here might be a good candidate to invite to the Elvis party next year.
Yeah.
Because he does some Elvis.
Really?
Yes, and it sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
So what's the other stuff you got there? The rocks and the...
Oh, this, my daughter gave me this. She did an internship at
Disney.
Disneyland. This is a
So that's Walt in...
correct.
Okay.
And this is a little piece of the rock off of the light pole at Crosley Field in Cincinnati before they built the new stadium. That's where the Reds played. My first job, I would park my car at the curb, and they tore the grocery store down that I worked at. So I went
Because
over.
you worked there?
Probably, I closed it down.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I got a piece of the curb that keep forever where I'd park my car.
Yeah.
This is from 1975, in 76. So
It looks 74 to me.
Does it?
That's just me.
you know, it could be 74.
That's so much.
But I know you're.
And then you got Colonel
I know
Sanders.
you-
As I mentioned, friends a while ago, he's a Kentucky colonel, just like Colonel Sanders. He doesn't do chicken.
No.
So what do you do?
Well, I eat chicken.
But you do insurance, not chicken.
Yeah, I do insurance,
Yeah.
but
So you're actually
I love eating
the
chicken.
insurance colonel.
I could be.
Okay, so I know that you spent some time in Dallas.
Yes.
Well, first, there's your Kentucky Colonel thing right there. You can see Dave Ledbetter of the Kentucky Ledbetters.
Yes. And the way you get a colonelship is by doing
Watch your mouth, but go ahead.
ship by doing good deeds and charitable works. And another Kentucky colonel has to notice you're doing something good and recommend you to the governor of the state you're in, and then the governor where you reside will recommend you to the governor of Kentucky. Then all of a sudden you get a nice deal like this in the mail.
Wow, that's
nice
pretty
letter.
cool.
And what's cool about it is I don't know who recommended me.
Really?
But I got it. We also do tax returns.
Yeah.
And I got it because if you're a single mother or you're a single parent and your income is limited, we would love to do your taxes and we won't charge you one penny. And it'd be our pleasure to do them for you.
Wow, that's incredible. That's awesome, Dave. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. But this here,
So let's talk about this.
yes.
You are a JFK guy.
Yes, I've
You
studied
studied it.
since 1988.
So this is an autograph from this guy.
That's correct. He is 94, 95
He's
now.
old. Let's just say that.
And it says, to Dave, my favorite insurance agent, Jim Lavelle. He did it this April 5th, 2008.
That is
Now,
incredible.
what I like about this picture is it won the Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
Bob Jackson took the picture. But what I like about it, Jim says he's got a pistol right here. You can see the bulge.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is a Neiman Marcus suit. And with a police officer's salary, he couldn't afford to buy one. One of his buddies gained a lot of weight and gave it to him.
Really?
Yeah, it was originally a double-breasted suit, and he
Yeah.
took it to a tailor and had it redone. And Jim told me he knew he'd be on TV that day.
So that's why he brought out the
Got
big
the
stuff.
best.
Yeah. That's
The
very
Sunday
cool.
go to meeting clothes.
That is an incredible story. All right, so I noticed that you had some pictures out here.
Yes, sir.
So Zapruder made the most famous film of the JFK assassination, and who is Hayes? That's the
Well,
Even if they take her son.
don't fall for the trick I put most people through.
Like 3 meter.
Let me just give you the tour
okay.
briefly. You got Lee Harvey Oswald.
Okay, that's his
And-
grave marker.
And
Now, where's that grave at?
that would be Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
If you'll permit me to say so, if you go to Dave the Insurance Guy's YouTube channel, I've actually done a video on how to find Lee Harvey Oswald's grave. I'll take you right there. You go. If you watch the video, you can go right there. Okay.
And J.D. Tippit, which is supposedly Oswald killed him
Correct.
when he was running.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes. Okay, that's correct. I'll finish the tour. This was the chief of police that day. He was in the motorcade, in the lead car, and you already mentioned Zapruder.
Abraham.
Correct. B.D. Hayes, the reason why this individual is on the wall is because when I went to the cemetery to find Oswald, they wouldn't tell me. If you watch the video, you'll see this or hear about the story. But they wouldn't tell me where he's buried, Oswald. But I was real nice to the gentleman, and he said, I'll tell you where B.D. Hayes is. And B.D. Hayes is just an average Joe buried right next to him. That's why he's on
okay,
there.
so they couldn't
Yeah.
tell you where Oswald
Right.
was, but they could tell you where B.D. Hayes is.
Correct.
Interesting.
And this is the Mayor Cabell that day.
Okay.
He was also in the motorcade. Captain Fritz interrogated Oswald.
Okay.
All right. And he was chief of homicide. This is a school book depository. He shot him from this window.
Okay. Which is where the arches are, but it's the square one beside the arch.
That's correct. That's the 6th floor. This is a night shot. These are photos I've taken in the early 80s, mid 80s.
I'm sure it's grown up a lot around there now. It's changed a bunch.
Correct, and trees are much larger now. So it's from this window. Same picture. You mentioned Officer J.D. Tippett already. Judge Hughes swore LBJ in on the plane. She was the federal judge.
Wow.
Okay.
She?
She,
Okay.
female. In 1963.
Wow, Judge Sarah Hughes.
I had one fall off and break. Sheriff Decker, he was in a motorcade as well with the same car with Captain or Chief of Police Jesse Curry. Henry Wade was a prosecuting attorney that prosecuted Jack Ruby with success and would have prosecuted Oswald had he lived. But what's interesting about Wade, he is the Roe versus...
Wade, really? The
that's
same
him.
guy?
That's him. That's him.
So which side was he on?
He's conservative.
Okay, so he was on
Christian.
He was on our side.
He's on our side, pro-life.
Right.
Pro-life, but he got tail kicked.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So he got broken.
Yes, this person was a personal friend of mine that I met over all the trips I've done to Dallas, and she was a waitress. If you watch one of my YouTube videos, I forget which one it is, but Iola's in it. Her picture, anyway. Iola McDonald. And she worked at Dunstan's, one of my favorite restaurants. Got to know her over the years, and she's in heaven now. She's in heaven. She was up there in age when I met her. And she was here, but we hit the wall and it cracked.
Yeah.
We got to get in the frame.
How does she get on the wall?
Oh,
Because
okay.
she helped you with some of this information?
Yeah, she knew Jack Ruby would well, Ruby's not on here. She knew Jack Ruby would, she was a food server, a waitress.
So she knew him personally? Wow.
And gave me a lot of inside information.
Amazing. So you've really studied this thing?
Since 1988.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I got to tell you that I'm one of the few people you ever meet, and it's not popular, but I have studied this. I know this subject as well as a preacher knows the Bible as well, okay? I've done radio interviews, spoken to history classes, and I've come to the conclusion, again, it's not popular, it's just my opinion.
After you studied it?
Yeah, and we'll get some hate over this.
Yeah.
We'll get some hate.
Well, it is what it is.
I believe Lee Harvey Oswald shot President Kennedy and acted alone.
In the subject.
In the subject, period. And I can probably win most debates.
Yeah.
Most debates. Yeah. And it's my favorite subject.
Yeah. Interesting. That's.
But I started out believing that
the other way.
One of the four did it. Cuba, Russia, the American federal government,
mob,
and the mob.
Right.
One of the four.
Yeah.
But
you believe that it was just simply an act of a guy, just like in Las Vegas. We're in Las Vegas, and just a few weeks ago, a single gunman killed 59 people, and some people think it was more than just him, but it could have just been him.
But what would be interesting, this is over 50 years now. What, 54?
Well, it's getting ready to be released, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, Trump is going to release it, but the FBI does not want it released. So why would the FBI not want it released?
Well, your first response would be because
they're covering up something.
Yes, but all it is, I've been to the National Archives in Washington, and all it is, they want to protect the identification of some of the witnesses.
But they're probably all dead now.
Mostly, and that's why.
Yeah.
They released a bunch in 1992.
Yeah.
After the Oliver Stone JFK movie.
Yeah.
Now they're going to release the rest of it.
Yeah.
But I don't
what's the Jim Reeves tie going to be?
Sorry?
What's the Jim Reeves tie going to be?
Jim Reeves?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's a song.
No.
Jim Reeves?
Yeah, Jim Reeves. The singer.
The country singer?
Yeah.
His tie into the JFK.
Yeah, do you know that he had a plane crash in Nashville? And the records of that plane crash are sealed with the JFK records.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
See, now the spa guy is bringing stuff to the expert of the JFK.
Hey.
I've just filmed that recently. That's the reason I know that, friend.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited.
But that's a true story. His airplane crash records are sealed with the JFK records.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I've been to the crash site.
When are you going to post it?
I'm not finished with it yet, but I'm working on it. I hadn't got every little piece that I need, but I'm working on it.
I'd love to see that.
We got to figure that out.
Yeah, and it was out.
See, now you got to study it and see what the see what the tie is. They're claiming that he had a briefcase with him. He left an Air Force. He left a military base. He was a pilot. So he was flying into military bases, flying out of military bases, and they think that was weird, and they claimed there was a briefcase with him that had to be recovered before any local authorities were allowed to the plane crash by the federal government.
That's interesting. So what's you're kind of leaning towards, he was...
you know, and I think he flew out of Dallas, by the way, was where he was flying from back to Nashville.
Wow.
But now it was after JFK assassination. I think it would have been 64. JFK's 63, right? I think this was 64. But I haven't been able to figure out anything else, but I figured if they were going to open the records, we'd be able to figure out the rest of that story.
Well,
but that's absolutely a true story. If you Google it right now, you'll see that the records are sealed with the JFK records.
And you're going to talk about that on your small game to YouTube. Yeah. You mentioned FBI maybe dirty their hands a little bit. What if I said to you and your followers that...
My friends.
Your friends.
They're my friends.
I'm your friend too, by the way.
That's right, I know it.
Yeah. And I want to be in a good friend category, by the way.
Well, yeah, I know it. I'm messing with you.
But what if I said to you that the #1 law enforcement officer that day was who?
It would have been Hoover. I mean,
higher than him.
Higher than Hoover? The FBI director?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Robert Kennedy.
Really?
Yeah, his brother.
Because he was the Secretary of State?
No, he was the...
what was he?
Oh, what was it? The legal side.
Because I was thinking the Secretary of State is who, if the president, vice president die, they take control, right?
Or
is it Speaker of the House?
Speaker, then eventually
Secretary of State.
What was Robert Kennedy's position at the moment?
Attorney General?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. So he's the #1 law enforcement person.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. He's Attorney General is the #1 law enforcement.
Correct. Right. Which is over the FBI and CIA.
Right.
If there's a conspiracy, Robert Kennedy, being a pit bull, would have found it.
Yeah.
Would have found. Well, okay, he was.
Of course, he did get killed.
5 years. 5 years later.
Yeah. So he had 5 years to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
By a guy that his parents didn't love him because they named him Sirhan. Sirhan.
Well, I'm starting to think you tripped off that cliff yesterday.
Yeah.
Maybe hit your head. Boy, that's a long way down,
isn't it? Sirhan? That's the guy's name, right? His parents couldn't have loved him if they named him Sirhan.
Here's an interesting comment, I guess. Charles Manson, Sirhan, Lee Harvey Oswald. They're all the same height and weight.
Really?
Yeah. They're all kooks.
There's something about people that size.
Yeah.
They're crazy. That's it.
Yeah. I'm a little bigger than that.
Yeah, well, me too. So,
yeah.
I'm not that crazy. I'm crazy, just not that crazy. Yeah, she probably won't.
All right, it's good.
Because we know who's in charge.
Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Yeah. Tighten up every chance you get.
See you at the top.
I don't think you actually will tighten up, but it is nice to talk about.
Well, I make every attempt to. Sometimes I fail. But I'll see you at the top.
That's it.
All right.
Hey, I saw you at the top at the Grand Canyon. We were at the top.
Yeah, glad we worked.
Yes, sir. Excuse me. So I'm allergic to Las Vegas, friends. You wouldn't think that you would have allergies out here, but the air is really, really dry. And Lori and I have struggled with our allergy stuff out here. But that's Dave's insurance office, 7028 right there. So if you're in town at Charleston and it's 70. Excuse me. It's 7028 West Charleston in Las Vegas. Stop by and see Dave, the insurance guy. And watch his YouTube videos too. Make sure that you look up Dave, the insurance guy, and he's got some great videos, some great history videos, as you saw that he loves to do history. So there you go, friends. Let's go look for something else. Tighten up every chance you get.